I'm interested in the visual components. It was the art that kind of got me into spirituality. And then eventually this started happening all the time. And I mean, it's happening right now where I can just think about this area and it's just lit. It's just lit up. And so it was beautiful that the art got me into spirituality. It felt like I was creating characters that were intensely spiritual beings, only because, you know, colorful and lights and third eye and like just with a look of compassion on their face. And I realized I wanted to connect with compassion like so much. And I was just very isolated and very alone. And I'm like, you're the only thing I got, this creature that I'm looking at for like 6 hours at a time. Like it's just me and you here. And so it became this intense connection with every new character I was creating. And so I would just create sometimes several a day of these feminine characters facing forward. That's something I stole from Android Jones. Well, he said, if you ever are confused, you don't know what to draw, just always remember FFF, female facing forward. And so I just started doing that. I'm like, this is great. I love this. Every face can be uniquely different, just like all of our faces are uniquely different. And I wanted to up level each new piece had to be at least as good or better or more profound than the last piece. So I just kept challenging myself. This next one is going to be even more transformational. And then like fucking lights and fairies and butterflies and shit just shooting out of the top of the head. And then that started happening to me too, like the Kundalini stuff. I'm like, oh my God, this stuff is happening to me. And now I get to put it back into my art authentically and say, this is really happening to me now. And like, who else is this happening with? And I would hear about other people who are like, oh yeah, I'm going through that too. And your art really helps me to kind of focus in and lock in on this process. And so over the years, I've been hearing from so many people that like my art has transformed them. It has changed their lives in some situations just by looking at something I created. That started getting addicting. And I was like, okay, I'm going to create more of these characters. And so I've created hundreds, I don't know, I haven't counted, but there are probably thousands of sketches here or there, but hundreds of like.
Definitely thousands.
Okay, thousands. Yeah. If you look on my Instagram,
I've seen your boxes.
it goes down.
Some of your boxes.
Yes. So, and, you know, it's funny because since AI has been like this massive thing and everyone's now being able to upload their photos and then see a beautiful, like transformative version of themselves. That was my business before AI. And this all started happening. That business dried up like fucking crazy. And thankfully, I've been wanting to stop doing that for a little while. It was like this really interesting synchronicity of like the explosion of AI and then my lack of desire to create portraits for people. Because for years I was known as the portrait guy and I have an insanely long waiting list of people wanting these. But when AI blew up just this past year, a few months ago, like that waiting list, like crickets, like no one goes to the wait. No one wants these anymore because they're like, I can just go to Lenza and make my own badass thing for free or for like $20 rather than pay this guy a few grand to do it. And that was like liberating for me also, because I'm like, oh, I want to create income via other routes such as coaching and teaching and all that. So it was a beautiful synchronicity, but I look forward to doing portraits again soon.